As we move into the final week of session, Senator, as we record this, the Missouri House still working on the budget for fiscal year 2020, which means it's still, as we record this, yet to come to the Missouri Senate.
Yes, the Missouri state budget has to pass out of both the House and the Senate by Friday, May 10th. Unfortunately, there was, in one of the bills, a resolution that would have allowed undocumented immigrants to receive in-state tuition at our Missouri public schools, colleges, and universities. I disagreed with not having that language in there. I do not believe that illegal immigrants should pay the same rate as in-state law-abiding citizens of Missouri.
And that's another issue, again, that's been around for a while in the state.
It has been around for a while, and I've consistently voted to include the language that prohibits illegal immigrants from receiving in-state tuition at Missouri colleges and universities. Unfortunately, that language was not included in House Bill 3, and so that is one of the things that we're trying to work through to make sure that that language is added back into House Bill 3, the higher education.
Of course, with the last week here, this is the busiest week of session. There's a lot of years we've seen as many bills go through in that week as we've seen the previous 17 or 18 before then.
That is true. Before any proposal can become law, it must be approved by both the House and the Senate. A bill can pass overwhelmingly in one chamber and then be defeated on the opposite end of the Capitol. This is a common occurrence in a bicameral legislature, and the possibility is accepted by all lawmakers. However, the assumption, though, is that both bodies will give legislation a fair hearing. These last 2 weeks are definitely, almost describe it, fast and furious. It's not uncommon that most bills are passed during the final 2 weeks. It does take a lot of time from when bills are first filed in January until Friday, May 17th, for those bills to make it through several committees in the House and several committee meetings in the Senate. We want to make sure that those bills are properly vetted, and then also each one of these bills has to pass out of the House chamber as well as the Senate chamber. So it's not a process that has been rushed by any means. However, the timeline for these bills to make it through all those different committee meetings as well as pass out of the Senate and the floor leads to a large number of bills that come up during the last 2 weeks that have been properly vetted in both bodies.
For you, is there any legislation you're still watching in the final week to come?
Yes. Currently, there's a number of worthwhile Senate bills that have been bogged down in the House of Representatives. One of these measures, Senate Bill 283, extends the sunset on a program that awards educational grants to the survivors of military personnel killed in combat. This proposal has not been controversial. In fact, it unanimously passed in the Senate. This is just one example of a bill that would benefit Missourians that is not moving in the House of Representatives. It would be different if the House didn't pass the bills because they objected to the legislation. However, I don't believe that's the case. I believe this bill, dealing with veterans and veteran survivors and other popular bills, are being held hostage in the House and will not budge until the Senate takes up legislation to create a statewide prescription drug monitoring program. I am against the PDMP, or the Prescription Drug Monitoring Program. I believe that this program is not a good program for the state of Missouri. I do not believe that citizens in the 21st Senatorial District want to have their prescription medication on a government database. We've seen breaches with these databases several times, whether it's been the conceal and carry database or just other data breaches in government and in the private sector. I think as law-abiding citizens, we don't need the government to keep track of what prescription medication we are on.